I want to start with an honest question. When was the last time you asked a client for a referral? And when you did it, how did it feel for you and for them? For most agents, asking for referrals feels very awkward. It feels like you're calling in a favor. It puts the client in an uncomfortable position where they either have to come up with a name on the spot or they feel like they've let you down by not having one. I actually stopped asking for referrals a while ago. Not because I stopped wanting them, because referrals are the best leads in the business, bar none, but because I found a better way to generate them. One that does not require me to ask. It doesn't put the client in an awkward position, and it actually produces more of them. The key insight is this: referrals are not a result of asking, they're a result of being remarkable. When your client experience is genuinely exceptional, so when they feel taken care of, informed, and valued at every single stage, they refer you naturally. Not because you asked, but because they cannot stop talking about you. Today, I'm going to walk you through the client experience system I use, the specific touch points, the communication approach, and what I actually do differently that generates referrals without even asking. I'm Estees, I'm a real estate agent, and I'm building a modern business in public. Everything I share is something I'm actually doing. So, subscribe if you think this would be useful. And if you're an agent who's building this kind of business and you would like to connect with someone in the same process, text me at 520-980-9880, or there's also a link in the description below. Now, let me start with the mindset that drives the system, because if the mindset is wrong, the system will not work even if you execute it perfectly. Most agents think about client experience as a series of tasks to complete. Send the welcome email, schedule the consultation, write the offer, handle the transaction, close the deal. Those are the required minimums. And the required minimums are table stakes. Every competent agent does those same things. The client experience that generates referrals is something completely different. It's built on the conviction that your client is not just a transaction. They are a person navigating one of the most significant financial and emotional decisions of their life. And your job is not just to process that transaction efficiently, it is to make them feel supported, informed, and in control throughout every stage of that process. The conviction sounds obvious when I say it, but very few agents actually structure their business around it. Most are reactive, responding to what clients ask for rather than proactively providing what clients need before they know to ask. My client experience system is built on 3 principles: proactive communication, personalized touch points, and a memorable close. Proactive communications means my clients never have to wonder what is happening in their transaction. They hear from me or my transaction coordinator before they think to reach out. I send a check-in at every single major milestone, which is like when the offer is accepted, inspections are scheduled and complete, clear to close, closing confirmation, etc. Each message is specific to what just happened and what's coming next. We do use Claude to draft these milestone updates. I have a template prompt for each stage that I feed the specifics of the transaction into. The address, the client's name, any relevant details about this particular situation, anything like that. And I get back a clear, warm, specific update in about 2 minutes. I edit for voice, personalize anything that needs personalizing, and send it. Proactive communication does 2 things simultaneously. It reduces client anxiety, which is the thing that drives most of the stressful phone calls in the real estate transaction. And it signals competence and care without requiring you to say, I am great at my job. You are already showing it. The second principle is personalized touch points. These are the things that are specific to this client, not standard for every client. There are moments that make a client feel seen rather than processed. In practice, this looks like noticing what matters to this particular person and acting on it. The buyer who mentioned they have horses. I keep that in mind when we are looking at properties and I mention equestrian infrastructure details they might not think about to ask. The seller who is anxious about the moving timeline, I send a brief note after every milestone, specifically acknowledging that they are navigating a stressful process as well. These touch points take 2 to 5 minutes each, but they are the difference between a client who says Meg was a great agent and a client who says you have to use Meg. Let me call her right now and put her in touch with you. The third principle is memorable close. Most transactions end with a closing, a handshake, and then silence. The agent moves on to the next deal, the client moves to unpacking boxes, and the relationship quietly fades away. My closing process is intentionally different. Within 48 hours of closing, I send a handwritten note, not an email, not a text, a handwritten note. It thanks them for specifically trusting me with something this significant, references something personal we discussed during the transaction, and lets them know I'm still their agent for any questions in the years ahead. About a week after closing, I will follow up with a brief check-in asking how they are settling in. This one message has generated more referral conversations than any direct ask I have ever made. People who just bought or sold a home talk about it constantly. A warm check-in gives them a natural reason to mention your name to whoever they are talking to. I also add every closed client to my content audience. They become subscribers if they are not already. My monthly market updates, my YouTube channel, my Instagram, they see my content going forward. I stay present in their world without requiring ongoing effort from me. Here is the thing about all of this. None of it is complicated. None of it requires a massive budget or a large team. It just requires intention. And it requires building a system around the conviction that how your client feels during and after the transaction really does matter. And that feeling remarkable is what generates referrals, not asking. If you build a client experience that people genuinely want to talk about, they will talk about it. You will not have to ask. So text me at 520-980-9880 or find the link in the description if you want to talk through any of this. I absolutely love these conversations. You can also subscribe, and I'd love to know what part of your client experience do you think is most referral generating right now. Please drop that in the comments because I read every single one. I'm Meg Estees, your AZ homegirl, and I will see you next time.